Most Georgia accident victims leave thousands of dollars on the table because they don't know how to properly prove their lost wages. And did you know there's something else called lost earning capacity that could be worth even more? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to document and prove your lost income so that you get every single dollar you're entitled to under Georgia law. Hi, I'm attorney David Bronze. I started my career working for the insurance companies, and that meant my job was figuring out how to pay people like you as little as possible. Seeing how that system worked from the inside is exactly why I'm sharing these videos. I want you to know the same tricks that I used to use against people so that you can protect yourself. And if you ever need to talk to an attorney you can trust, you can always call us here at Bronze Law. First, let me clarify something that confuses most people. Lost wages and lost earning capacity are two totally different things, and you can actually claim both. Let's start with lost wages. Lost wages are the income you've already lost because of the accident. You couldn't work for 2 weeks after the crash? That's lost wages. You had to use your sick or vacation days to recover? That's lost wages. You missed overtime opportunities or a scheduled bonus? That's lost wages too. In Georgia, you're entitled to recover all the income you lost as a direct result of your accident. This includes your regular salary, your hourly wages, your commissions, your bonuses, tips, overtime, and even self-employment income. If you can prove what you would have earned but for the accident, it's recoverable. Lost earning capacity, on the other hand, that's different. This is about your future ability to earn income. Let's say you were a construction worker and the accident left you with a permanent back injury. You can't do heavy lifting anymore, which means you can't do that job anymore. You might have to take a lower paying job or reduce your hours, maybe go to a desk job. The difference between what you used to be able to earn in that construction worker job and what you earn after the wreck, that difference is called lost earning capacity. Here's why this matters. Lost wages might be $10,000 or $20,000, and that's for the time you've already missed from the accident. But your lost earning capacity, that could be hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. And that's if your ability to work has been permanently affected. Insurance companies don't want you to know about earning capacity. Why? Because it's tens of thousands versus hundreds of thousands of dollars. They'd rather pay you for a few weeks of missed work than for decades of reduced earning potential. Now, let me show you how to actually prove your lost wages. And this is where most people make mistakes that cost them real money. If you're a W-2 employee with a regular paycheck, you need 3 things. First, you need a letter from your employer on company letterhead. This letter needs to confirm the dates you missed of work, your rate of pay, and the total income you lost. It should also state whether you're salary or hourly, and whether you use sick days or vacation days. We actually call this a lost wage verification form in our office. Second, I need you to get recent pay stubs. Get at least 3 months of pay stubs from before the accident that show your normal earning pattern. If you work overtime regularly, this is going to prove or show that too. Third, I want you to get it. You may not have to produce it, but I still want you to get it, your tax returns. If your income varies or you have side income, a lot of these adjusters are going to ask for your tax returns from previous years to show the average annual earnings. Now, if you're self-employed or own a business, the eat what you kill kind of work, lost wages is going to be harder to prove, but not impossible. You're going to need profit and loss statements showing your income before and after the accident. And if your business revenue dropped because you couldn't work, that's going to be provable lost income too. You're also going to need your tax returns from at least the 3 previous years. This is even more important if you own your own business. Documentation of canceled contracts, missed appointments, or lost clients as a direct result of the accident helps too. Right now you're showing the actual things that caused the loss. And if you had to hire someone to cover your work while you recovered, those expenses can be recovered as well, right? Because that ate into your profit. If you drive for rideshare or do delivery work or freelance work, like a lot of my clients do, you got to save everything. Get screenshots of your earnings from apps that show the weeks before the accident versus after. Keep the bank statement showing direct deposits and how they stopped or decreased. And hold on to those 1099 forms from the previous year to show your typical income. You want to get every source you can that shows the weekly deposits and what your income was doing. Now, here's a mistake I see people make all the time. People wait until the insurance company asks for the documentation before they start to gather it. You know, if you've watched my other videos, documentation is everything. If you wait until then, you've forgotten dates, you've missed pay stubs, your employers can't find the records. I need you to start documenting from day one, because if you miss work because of the accident, you're going to need that documentation. Now let's switch gears over to lost earning capacity. That's going to be harder to prove because now you're talking about future losses. But in Georgia, you can absolutely recover this if you have the right evidence. Let's talk about that evidence. First, you need medical documentation showing that your injuries are permanent or long-term. This is normally going to come from your treating doctor, and the records need to say things like patient has a permanent 20% impairment to the lower back, or patient cannot return to heavy labor. Without this medical evidence of permanency, you can't claim lost earning capacity. Remember, you have the burden of proof. Second, in cases involving serious injuries, you may need what's called a vocational expert. This is someone who evaluates your work history, your education, your skills, and your medical restrictions, and that is going to testify about what jobs you can and can't do anymore. They're going to calculate the difference between your old earning potential and your new earning potential based on those jobs they determine that you can do going forward with your permanent injuries. Let's do an example. Let's say you're earning $60,000 a year as a plumber, but your injury means you can only do light-duty work earning $35,000 a year going forward. That's a $25,000 a year loss. Over 20 years until retirement, that's almost $500,000 in lost wages and earning capacity. Insurance companies are going to fight these claims hard. And you know why? Because they're expensive. It's a lot of money, but they are legitimate under Georgia law, and you need to ask for them. Also in Georgia, if you're claiming this lost earning capacity, you're typically going to need expert testimony to prove it as well, in addition to the vocational expert. You can't just say, I think I'll earn less now. You need that vocational expert or an economist to back up with the data. And in a lot of cases, you're going to need both. Let me tell you what insurance companies will fight you on, because I used to make these arguments myself. If you've missed a bunch of doctor's appointments or stopped treatment for a while, they're going to argue you weren't really hurt. This is not only going to affect your case, but also your lost wages and lost earning potential. You need to keep up with your medical treatment. Document everything. If you've had back problems or injuries before the accident, likewise, they're going to argue your lost earning capacity is due to that old injury and not this wreck. Your doctor needs to document how accidents made things worse. For self-employed workers, insurance companies are going to argue your business income varies naturally and the drop isn't related to the wreck. That's why you need solid documentation showing the direct connection. And if you could have worked light duty during your injuries, but you refused, they're going to argue you didn't try to minimize your losses. That's called duty to mitigate damages. Always follow your doctor's work restrictions and try to return to some form of work if medically cleared. At the very least, go to work and have them say you can't do it and turn you away, and get that in the records. All right, so let's summarize what you need to do right now to protect your lost wage claim. First, I want you to document every day you missed work starting immediately after the accident. Don't rely on memory. Don't try to go back 3, 4, 5 months later and backfill it. Second, I want you to get written confirmation from your employer about missed time and lost income as soon as possible. The lost wage verification form. Third, you need to keep all pay stubs, get your tax returns, and gather all your income records and organize them in one place for when the time comes. And fourth, if your injuries are serious and might affect your long-term ability to work, you need to tell your attorney right away so they can start building that lost earning capacity claim we talked about. It's a complicated, labor-intensive part of your case. And finally, never discuss your work status or income with the insurance adjuster without talking to an attorney first. Remember, they're going to use anything you say to minimize your claim. If you've been injured in a car accident in Georgia and you've missed work or your ability to earn income has been severely affected, give us a call at Braun's Law for a free case review. We'll evaluate your situation, help you gather the right documentation, and make sure you get compensated for every dollar you've lost. Now, once you understand what your case is worth, you're going to face a big decision. Should you settle or should you file the lawsuit and take it to trial? Most cases settle, but going to trial is sometimes the right move to get maximum compensation. I'm going to break down exactly how to make that decision in the next video.